A few days ago, I bought the cheapest Chrysler Crossfire convertible in all of Spain. Yes, the very cheapest, and on top of that it has a C label, which nowadays is almost more important than how much horsepower it has. But of course, when something is too cheap, you know what happens. Sure enough, the first time I saw it, it was already up on a trailer. Look at this, and look at this here. But be careful, because even after the full inspection by Finast Motors, it's still the cheapest Crossfire convertible. Spain. Was it a good idea? Or did I buy myself a problem with a green label?
So the only fix is to remove the gearbox and replace the return? Besides, this is really bad, and later on there's another one. If you look, the skid plate we just took off is completely soaked.
Well, not really. It's not that much either.
We'll remove the leak with a cathedral, then handle the cable, now that he can't hear us. In the front, it's more of the same. The front shock absorbers or the screws and such, you can see they're rusty.
Will it still be the cheapest Crossfire in Spain?
Do we have it?
My name is Mark and I'm crazy about cars. Here, behind me is the marvel I've bought, a car I've wanted for years. Ever since it came out, and I've had a really good excuse to buy this vehicle. Why do all the city councils here in Catalonia have this environmental green agenda, this worldwide lie, especially here in Europe, where everything is so politicized? And it seems like classic cars are the problem, right? What's going on? They've put in a new law, which is the classic car law, where they let you drive the car. Well, more than 90 days, just a little, 92 or 93. I can't remember exactly now, but this law is nationwide. But then each city council, imagine not province or anything, each city council, each town, decides what kind of environmental law they put in place. What happens in Terrassa? Do they accept up to the B label? Yes, but only for cars that are less than, I think it's 16 years old and they're diesel. Otherwise, even if you have the B label, if it's diesel, and from before 2006, then this car can't circulate. Because yes, there are cars from 2005 that have a B label that are diesel, but still they don't let them circulate in Terrassa. What's going on? What we find is that they don't let us drive with a classic car, even if it's historic, and not even with a car that has a B label if it's very old or if it's diesel. So what happens is that you're forced to buy a car. And what kind of car are you going to buy? Well, a Crossfire with a C label, yes, gentlemen, a C label on a car that was built on the base of the R170, that is the Mercedes R170, which was the first sportlich Leichtkurz they made. One of the things that was innovative was the hardtop, which was solid and automatic. So what happened? At that time, we had Chrysler, which was struggling, but it was a giant, and we had Mercedes, which was doing very well, but wasn't as big. So these two companies came together, and what did they do? Well, and Sportlich Leichtkurz R170. But almost 10 years later. Yes, because when the Sportlich Leichtkurz ended, and the Sportlich Leichtkurz Series 2, the 171 started, that's when they decided to make the Crossfire. Crossfire? A beautiful car, I bought it. It's the cheapest one in Spain. I paid 4,500 euros for the car. The car has some problems, as you've already seen, or you're going to see rather, but overall it's fine, and it's the car of my dreams. One of the nicest things, and something people don't explain, which is the name Crossfire, is because from the front to the back of the vehicle, it's just one line, you know? And this is what the Crossfire line indicates. From top to bottom, a line that never stops. And on a technical level, well, that's what they use. A car with a Mercedes engine, Mercedes chassis, Mercedes gearbox, and the entire interior from Mercedes. Simply, instead of leaving it black, they painted it silver. I'll show you now. Here it is. It's practically the same, the whole interior. They just painted it silver instead of black. Did they change the steering wheel? Yes, the seats might not be exactly the same, but they're very similar. But the interior still has all the buttons. All the buttons are in the same place. And I would almost say they're even in the same layout and everything, right? Pretty fun car. The engine is a very good one. It's chain-driven, and it's a very reliable engine. And even though it has 250,000 kilometers, I think it's a very good price. Also, keep in mind, it has a C label. You can go through any city with a car that was designed before labels even existed, and now, well, it has been given a C label. One of the things I like most about this car is its design. Look, it has this little drawing, this decoration that goes here and goes up into the inside of the vehicle. I mean, it comes from here, and here you can see that it has the little drawing that makes up the design. Then it goes down here. You can see here it also has the design. It continues here in the back, also with the same design. And then it goes up here behind the hood, behind the cover. It's a car they've really put a lot of work into, and up to here, finishing it here, this design right here. They worked incredibly hard on it. You might like the design of this car, or you might like it less, but without a doubt, it's a different car. And that's another reason why I like it. It's a car that's not slow, it's not very fast either, but it is fun. And besides, the convertible version is the cheapest in Spain. So let's go to Vols now, let's talk to the people at Dynasty Motors, and let's see if it's still the cheapest in Spain. If I did the right thing or not by buying this vehicle.
Are you watching Mark's Garage? What? We left the Manresa workshop. We're going to Vols, to the Dynasty workshop. We're going to see Mikel and Mark to see what they tell me about the car. I'm going to tell them the car runs perfectly, to see what they find without giving any hints. But I can already tell you now that the suspension is bad. I don't know if you can see it when we go over something here. You see the car bounces in a weird way, so the shock absorbers must be totally done for. It also makes a little noise in the exhaust pipe, so there must be a broken mount somewhere. Most likely you have to pull the handbrake up really high for it to actually work. It brakes well, but I saw that the discs are bad, so let's see what they say. The steering is a bit imprecise. I think it's related to the tires having very little profile. And with such a low profile, you feel everything in a sports car, but it's not really a full sports car either. So it's kind of like yes and no, yes and no. But let's see if it could also be because the tires are old and a little dry. Then if they notice anything like that, tell them. And, well, I think other than that, there's nothing else. So let's see what the people at Dynasty Motors say.
Here, Mark, take a good look at it for me. Yes, carefully. Let's see what's wrong with it, okay?
Let me know now. I'll bring it in and you tell me. I'll bring it in. It was the cheapest one, right, Mark?
Yes, it was the cheapest one in Spain.
Do you want to start from the front, from the back? Where there's a sky or where there's oil?
I don't know. Where do you guys want?
Already from one extreme to another.
Seeing the losses from the start.
From behind, remove the cover, everything. Come on. Yeah. We start from behind. Let's see. Look, if we start here with the shock absorbers, there's no leakage, but we can see they're pretty rusty. And it probably won't take much for them to start leaking. Springs. It looks like they've been replaced because usually the stock ones are always black and these ones we see are red. This one is actually lowered just a bit, but not too much.
This one is also wrong.
It's not.
Right, exactly. It would be to change the shock absorbers.
The shock absorbers.
Which is what I noticed. That, no.
It wobbles slightly when turning corners.
No, not that. But I do feel it's very stiff. Like they're not doing their job. Why?
It's probably because with the spring set low, it's a bit stiffer, so you don't feel it working the way it should. We see a bit of surface rust on some screws, mostly on the body and so on, but there's nothing on the exhaust in this area. Does it look okay? Here it does look like it's missing a bracket. It attaches up here and the little bracket is missing. There's a slight leak, almost nothing, from the differential. It's probably just from the cover gasket. What else do we have here? Brakes. Let's see how the rear ones are doing. The brake pad itself is fine. The only thing, look, if you can come closer, inside here the rotors are pretty rusty. And probably at the next pad change, it wouldn't hurt to replace the rotors too. You're taking notes, your expression is changing. We're still at the rear axle.
I mean, we have rotors, pads, exhaust bracket, the differential leak, the rear shocks.
Where did this car come from? From France?
From what they told me, the north.
Puede ser.
What concerns me most is the level of saltpeter or surface rust visible everywhere. For instance, the Terrena has already begun to open up. Here we see the layers of rust revealed as the steel is opened. And this isn't cool because the day comes when you have to change, and we'll look at it now, but when you have to change ball joints and things like that, you can count on each of these bolts being a battle. It's the typical thing that happens to them. They bring us a lot of fire-damaged cars.
But that's not my battle right now.
It's your battle.
It will be ours.
To change it, it's the battle of your wallet.
Do you charge by the hour? No, I thought it was by service.
And dices...
Look. Here they've changed the central bearing of the cardan shaft. Can't you see it's new here? They changed it back in the day because normally these bearings here have the central bearing and are supported with a rubber piece. And what usually breaks is the rubber that holds it with the end bracket. And then what you notice is that when you accelerate or decelerate, there's some play.
Yeah, I don't notice that.
You don't notice it because it's completely new, no play. The handbrake mechanism is worn out. It's also a bit overused. It's pretty worn, loose, and very unbalanced to one side.
Well, yeah, the handbrake doesn't work well. I forgot to mention it.
You can already see there's some problem?
Yeah.
Even the cables, yeah. Besides the mechanism itself, the cables that go to the wheels already look pretty worn out. Can't you see it's way off to the side?
What if we go have a coffee?
Shall we continue?
Yes, go on, go on.
On the other hand, on this side, there isn't a principle, but there isn't as much.
The car is left-handed.
We lower the play a bit later and check by hand to see if there's any play. No, they're still used, but there's nothing excessive.
I thought I had made a good purchase.
Is it missing an exhaust bracket? Here it is.
I've already said that.
There's nothing left here. It also leaks a bit.
I like the sound of the leak.
Yeah, it sounds sportier. Look, they've done it there. Drive shaft. The drive shaft flex disc has also been changed, which is the rubber part that connects the gearbox output to the drive shaft. They tend to wear out, just like we talked about with the center bearing. They usually deteriorate and break down. And maybe the most serious thing is that you have a very noticeable oil leak at the crankshaft seal, because this is engine oil, not gearbox oil. It's black, and this one, This can only be fixed by removing the gearbox, oh man, and changing the seal. Besides, this is one leak, and later on there's another one. If you look, the oil pan cover we just removed is completely soaked.
Well, it's not that much either.
Still, just so we don't scare him too much, it's not that much. We could start by just making the oil pan gasket, but it could be that this is causing all the oil to go to the back.
It could be.
There's a leak here the size of a cathedral. We'll take the truck out later. Don't worry, he can't hear us now. Up front, more of the same. The front shock absorbers or the bolts and such, they look rusty. The shock absorbers don't look bad, right? In the back, they're more rusty. Yeah, well, these probably aren't the first ones anymore. Ah, the radiator is new, yeah. At least it's maintained. The steering box isn't leaking, which is common for a Mercedes. The subframe is also starting to show signs of rust, but for now it's just superficial. Yes, the steering stabilizer, the steering damper is also quite rusty. It's possible the oil is from it, meaning it has an oil leak, or the oil could be leaking from somewhere nearby. But well, it's nothing special.
So we don't know if the leak is from the steering damper or the crankshaft.
From the seal?
From the seal?
From the crankshaft seal. Crankshaft. Almost certainly. Then the engine also leaks from other places. What we don't know is if this one also leaks or not because it's covered in oil. But while it's rusted on the outside and for what they're worth, maybe it would be best to change it. The wheels? The tires are pretty good, but I'm afraid they must be years old. Still.
Yeah, they're a bit dry.
Yeah, they're a bit dry and more worn on the inside.
I can tell they're dry.
This isn't damaged, it must be external. Here. 2017.
They're not that old either.
Not so bad, they're not that bad.
I did well, see?
Good purchase. The front discs are meant to be replaced with the next set of brake pads, and the pads are practically non-existent.
Don't tell me, I'm telling you. Yes.
I play with these discs and pads, it's not a big deal. When you change, everything adds up.
Yes, exactly.
It would likely pass inspection since they only check braking efficiency.
It brakes well.
Huh? Yeah, I get it. You can see the disc with its ridge. We could measure it, but with that ridge, it should be replaced. You can't install the next set of pads on a disc in this condition.
Yeah, I can imagine.
On the other hand, the water pump too. It looks like it was replaced at some point.
Yeah, and the hose too, right?
Yeah, the starter motor and the exhaust manifold on this side are covered in oil. So there's probably also a valve cover gasket issue.
Oh my goodness.
And it's coming from above.
Point the bowler hat at me, I need it too.
Pharmacist? No, but is the cash register really okay? Yes, the cash register is just fine. Here, they also seem to have changed the relay arm, the support for what is the bar. Since it has a ball box, this car doesn't have the typical rack, it has the ball box. From here, the big arm comes out, and from here, through this bar, it distributes to both sides. Since it's so long, it needs a support in the middle, and it looks like this support has been replaced. Do you want us to continue down here, or should we go take a look upstairs? Let's go halfway down.
We check for clearances. What I've noticed is that now the spoiler doesn't want to go down.
Did anything else light up for you?
No, just that. The button that controls it, yes, it blinks, exactly.
There's an existing fault.
Well,
Little fault we can try to...
scan a little fault, couldn't we?
The brake discs? Yes.
It's possible, it could be. No. And because of the troccola?
But many times in these cars, the spoiler is a sign that the beef has bird problems.
No, of course.
Besides, here you haven't noticed it being rough because it's manual. Of course, we had an experience with one of these.
I'm interested.
All right, goodbye.
Here, tell me.
We had a similar experience with a customer, but it involved a car with automatic transmission. And besides the spoiler always being open, let's say raised, the problem was that the behavior, both of the engine and the transmission, became very rough. So, there he had, a problem already related to the ABS, which is something you don't want to hear.
Right?
That's why I'm telling you.
Well. And how much is this going to cost me? Can you crunch some numbers for me, or...?
Later we sit in the office and do the numbers?
Yes. I told you it was Spain's cheapest.
We haven't finished it.
Finished.
Yes.
We haven't. The only good thing about the car is the tires, which are still okay, right?
They're still fine. Yeah, man. Since 2017, many people have said they're already expired.
But did you know they don't expire, the tires? They dry out, which is different.
They're like wine, right?
Well, wine usually gets better with age, which means the tire gets worse. In terms of losses, we would obviously deal with the big loss.
First, clean up and make sure where it's coming from. From there, evaluate one thing or another. The brake issue when it's time, when you finish the pads, then do the discs and pads.
That would be the first thing.
Not the first thing.
And the shock absorbers, are they okay?
But if you do the rear ones, no.
Do all four already.
It would be ideal to do all four.
Yes.
Regarding the leaks, as Mark says, clean up and find the source. But also, unless they're really excessive and there's dripping and it fails and you have problems, leaks are sometimes even a personal thing. Some people don't care. And this car can go another 200,000 kilometers with these leaks and nothing happens. There are customers who get really upset just seeing a drop on the ground every day.
It doesn't leave dirt in the garage, which is odd.
There's a big leak, just a few drops, probably spreading while driving.
It's not a mistake anymore. I'm just not used to so little leakage.
Right? Yeah, depending on where it's coming from, and since the car is manual, I might wait until I have to work on the clutch. If you have to take out the gearbox anyway, then you can replace the seals.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't it leak on you? No, it's perfect.
Just like in the front, let's look at the other side.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fine. Like we said, they look used, but there's nothing broken enough to replace. That's all we're missing. It has a slight yes.
Maybe a bit of looseness in the front.
From some ball joint or some tie rod, but it's just a thing. It's logical. With the mileage and the age it has, nothing to worry about.
You wouldn't touch it right now, not at the moment.
When you do tires and so on, if it needs to be aligned, check it again. Because in that case, you could take advantage and do just one alignment. If any ball joint needs to be replaced...
See here, you can't see anything anymore, nothing. It doesn't leak anymore.
The water pump we mentioned earlier had been changed. Yes, the valve cover is definitely leaking from the gaskets. Don't you see it's wet? It was on this side, I think, and you can see it's wet here too.
Can you see it over there? Yes.
The other side should be more exaggerated. Do you have 2 spark plugs for 100?
Are there 12 spark plugs? Yes.
The Lambda on this side is new. I don't know. Yours, Marta?
Yes, also looking at the wiring. Both are these, here. They're not original, but they're exact.
You can already see it with the connector?
I already saw it.
Yes. And what Mikael was saying, yes, it also has an LFU over here by the valve cover on this side. But with the V6, more or less, like I said before, it doesn't leak a lot. It's a typical leak.
I think the coolant is clean because they changed the radiator.
Then I guess so.
Yeah, you see. Mm-hmm. You see?
The auxiliary belt also looks new or pretty new.
Does this car use a timing chain or does it have a timing belt?
I'm pretty sure it uses a chain, but if not, feel free to argue in the comments.
I'm not 100% sure, so really let me know in the comments. And the Crossfire, which has the Mercedes 320 engine generation, 160, does it use a belt or a chain?
It looks great and doesn't appear to have had any accidents.
No.
This is...
I looked at it, I saw that it didn't have any accidents. That's what I liked the most.
Yes, it does have some scratches and various things, but very few. And you can't really see much damage from the salt air on the upper part either. Usually these cars have salt residue underneath, which is immediately noticeable when you open the engine bay.
If it came from Germany, we'd notice, especially since the license plate shows it's only been here briefly. Spain, but coming from France, well, it's not like in Spain, where we don't have problems with salt or the issues they have in the rest of Europe. But apart from that, I don't see anything wrong with it because it's just dirt here. Maybe this screw is a little bit off, yes, but it's minor and just on the surface. They don't have perfection, absolute perforation. What's wrong with it?
The gears engage positively, though a bit dry. You can already tell when a gear is left engaged.
There's a little bit of play.
It has a bit of play, relatively speaking, I imagine. Well,
It depends on the vehicle you're used to driving.
yeah, that too, for those of us who are used to driving old clunkers.
This seems just perfect to us, exactly.
If you want it perfect, that needs fixing too.
And well, about the brake.
The handbrake is completely dead, but you have drums inside from what I've seen.
Well, it still brakes because it still does its job, but maybe not 100%. Now I have to go for the inspection. It won't pass. It's not going to pass. Because of the handbrake.
It won't pass because of the brakes, specifically the handbrake.
I told you it was him.
The cheapest Crossfire in Spain? What's up?
Another thing we see, do you see the little device? This one, yes.
The onboard diagnostics, no?
This is the onboard diagnostics we just installed, but it won't turn on. It's properly connected now, but seems to have no voltage. The onboard diagnostics could be a fuse, or it could be a damaged wire, or maybe, since it's the cheapest one in Spain, someone might have cut the power to the onboard diagnostics.
For what? Why would someone do this?
Well, if there are historical faults or ones that keep repeating, they could have easily cleared the DTCs. It doesn't show faults here, but the engine control unit could still have issues.
If it's Spain's cheapest, it makes no sense.
That always inspires confidence. It should be investigated, but there's no reason for it to go badly. If it goes well, you'll know. Also because of the emissions in the vehicle inspection, because many times the strange things, when a car is running well, show up in the emissions.
So it's better not to go for the vehicle inspection for now. First fix them.
Skipping the vehicle inspection results in a €200 fine or 100 if reduced.
We're not going to educate the staff. Not like this. It's much cheaper than repairing the car.
With that,
Without a doubt.
that's for sure.
The spoiler works now, right? It went down?
Yes, I just pressed the button and it went down a bit roughly, so it's best to lift it and lubricate it.
No, it went down fine.
We won't put it on the list, so...
Man, it's just that nobody's going to get ABS for me for less than 1,000 euros.
It's 6 degrees and he's sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ABS, if you haven't fallen yet, you're going to end up falling.
Wow, you guys are such jinxes. You're really toxic people. Seriously, huh?
No.
If you take it to another shop, will they say it's spotless?
Oh yeah, the one who sold it to you, he sold it to you.
The shop that sold it to me exactly, well,
Well, we stopped by the house.
we stopped by to see
What we talked about.
what we talked about, to do the 4 necessary things. Come on.
Perfect.
If that's okay with you, yes, let's go. And the question for you, before I go with this gentleman to the office, will it still be the cheapest Crossfire in Spain?
Please have a seat.
Let's go. You know when you're at the doctor's appointment and they're about to give you the diagnosis and you're this nervous? I feel the same way.
We have it.
Up to here.
Today's adventure with
The Crossfire. Honestly, I thought the budget would be one thing, but in the end, it turned out to be something completely different. So I have a game for you. How much do you think the total budget for this repair has increased? Let me see your guess in the comments. And whoever gets the closest will win an official Mark's Garage t-shirt. And that's it for today, friends.
My name is Mark and I'm crazy about cars.